Hi everyone, my name is Natalie Vlatko and I am welcoming you all to today's SIG Docs community meeting. Today's date is Tuesday, the 21st of January, 2025, and I'm one of the co-chairs of SIG Docs. I've also am joined by Ray Lahano, who's another co-chair of ours, Kat Cosgrove, who's one of our tech leads, and Depesh and Tim. Tim being emeritus tech lead, but current approver, and Depesh is a current approver too. So thanks, folks, and hello. Hello to everyone else on the call. This is that's often in the new year can be a slow uptake in terms of folks joining and taking part in general work with open source now that we're all coming back from holidays and vacation. But we're going to try today. Before we get started, I wanted to offer any folks who are possibly new on the call, if they wanted to say hello and introduce themselves, feel free to unmute.
Hey, hello folks. I'm Sayak, and I became like my major focus in the community happened like a couple of months back with one of the first new contributors meeting from Contribex, and since then I have been taking up the work of slowly upgrading the site, both the k8s.dev and k8s.io now. Initially, I was focused on k8s.dev itself, but lately I managed to get one PR merged to get k8s.io upgraded to 0.6 at least, and I'm looking forward to getting more PRs until we are up to date with the latest doxy.
Amazing. Hi, Sayak. Thank you so much for coming along. It is awesome, some of the work that you're doing with the Doxy upgrades, 100%. It's really, really great. And we are very, very welcoming of folks who have themselves not only interest, but some expertise in that particular area for the site. It's super awesome to see you participating. And yeah, we're super grateful to have you. So thank you so much. Welcome.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for having me, and thanks to team for taking the huge responsibility of going through those huge PRs.
I feel like if anyone's seen the film Crocodile Dundee and Mick Dundee pulls out a bigger knife. But yeah, we like to keep our PRs small. Sometimes it's a challenge. Very happy to review well thought through PRs, but we are short of people with that willingness. Like most people, smaller PRs get a bigger pool of people willing to review them. So that's the main reason to keep them small. I would say if someone comes up with a big PR that does a great thing, we can work with it. We can help you split up, for example. But we really like people producing value. Small PRs, big PRs that produce value, good. Split into small PRs, fantastic.
Thanks, Tim, and thanks, Sayak. Anyone else on the call who's new who wanted to introduce themselves and say hello?
I mean, yeah, it's been a while. I haven't been here. That's my name. So I'm mostly doing work with SIG security people. I wanted to bring topic today, so that's why I'm joining. Okay.
Awesome.
Hello, everyone.
Nice to see you again. Yeah, welcome anytime. So thank you. All right, for anyone else who wants to say hello or is watching this on Planet YouTube after the fact, feel free to jump into the meeting notes and you can add in your name as part of the new contributors. What would be also great is for folks to come into the SIGDoc Slack channel and also say hi if they wish. We're always willing to welcome folks that way as well. Now, what I want to do is go through a few updates and reminders, and something that I forgot to say at the start of this meeting is that as this is a Kubernetes meeting, we are governed by the Kubernetes Code of Conduct. So I do want to remind all folks that that means that we want to make sure that we're respectful and kind to one another. We can definitely disagree on things if we wish to, but we can always do that in a kind and respectful way. So that means that we're doing so and conducting ourselves in that way in meetings like today, but also in PRs and issues in Slack, in the general, all the different ways that we collaborate with each other on all those platforms. If you notice, though, that there is a breach of that code of conduct and you would like to report that, please contact the Kubernetes Code of Conduct Committee. You can remain anonymous, and you do so by sending an email to conduct@kubernetes.io, and they'll be able to help you out and let you know about next steps. For folks who want access to be able to edit and add in topics to the meeting agenda, you can definitely join the SIG Docs Google group. It'll take a little bit of churning and time in the back end, but you will get access not only to editing the meeting notes that I've got that I'm sharing now, but also get all of our invitations into your calendar as well, so you won't miss an exciting next edition of the SIG Docs biweekly meeting. And then a couple of updates and reminders about some of the programs that we have with SIG Docs. So we do a lot of things around PRs and issues called wrangling. What that means is that we put someone on shift every week to either be looking through PRs or looking through issues, so that we're going through the contribution ladder and path to get contributions and PRs and issues kind of to the finishing point and to the end there. Today's PR wrangler is me, so if folks need anything looked at, feel free to tag me, and I will have Danush, whose handle is for Rivapa, shadowing me. They and I will hopefully be sitting down together on Thursday afternoon to be able to look at some PRs together. For next week's PR wrangler is Tim, and you've got Network Charles shadowing you there, and the following week's PR wrangler is Chiming Teng, who is another of our tech leads here in SIG Docs. For folks who are interested in shadowing a wrangler shift, please feel free to have a look at the schedule and reach out to the wrangler in particular that you would like to shadow, and give them a hello and a heads up, so that they can add you to that shadowing roster, and then the two of you can meet as you see fit to go through that process. When it comes to issues, this week's issue wrangler is Kat Cosgrove, and next week's issue wrangler is Depesh Rawat. So issue wrangler shifts, please make sure that you're aware of those. Not all of those are updated. We've only done the first quarter of the year. We would be super open to regular contributors to SIG Docs signing up for an issue wrangler shift. So if that's something that you're also interested in, feel free to reach out to me directly. I am at Natalie on the Kubernetes Slack, and I can chat you through some expectations there, and we can add you to that roster. All right, let's start our agenda with the meeting. I am going down to look at the first area that we always look at in the SIG Docs meetings, which is the current release cycle. We're currently up to release 133, and I'd like to invite Docs to give their update.
Hey everyone. I believe the incoming docs lead is not available today. I think he's in the APAC time zone, but if subsequent updates will probably be given by Shadows. But in terms of docs, I believe they're at the stage of just onboarding Shadows. So we're looking green. Yeah, all good here.
Great, thank you, Daniel, and thanks, Release Docs. I'd love to hear an update from Release Comms next.
Whoop, I was unlucky, I didn't find the unmute. So Release Comms is green. I'm giving the update on behalf of Ryota because it's currently out. We're onboarding Shadows, and the handbook has been updated by the previous lead, aka me. Everything looks okay.
Great. Does anyone have questions for any of our updates given from Release Docs or Release Comms? All right, thanks so much. Those will get more interesting as we progress through the release, I promise. Just at the start of a release, can be quite quiet for the docs and comms folks at the moment. What we do now is we go into issues and PRs that we would like to look at and address as part of the meeting. And if I go down to the agenda here, we've got Tim, who's actually popped something in there as an issue around local container previews. Tim, over to you.
They're broken. So if you follow our README and you try to do a preview of the website, and you haven't done a preview before, so you don't have the image already pulled, and you haven't built it yourself, it fails. This is a side effect of, I think, the changes we made around Doxy, and possibly a side effect of us bringing more things into the tagging mechanism. So like we set a container tag and say, if any of these files change, like we hash some files into the tag so that if any of them change, you get a different tag, which is good. So that your container runtime like Docker knows that it needs to pull a different thing if something's changed. And it either needs a people person to lead the work, or it needs a release, someone who likes looking at like release artifacts and release processes and CI/CD person to go and do the technical work solo. So there's two ways of tackling this. You can go in there with the people angle and say, I am a coordinator. I am a bringing people together and solving problems person, and that's a great way to contribute. We don't have enough of we can never have enough of those people in Kubernetes, honestly. So if you're thinking that's sort of me, or you've got a friend who's not in SIGDocs who's looking for a way to contribute, that's a great way to help. Linking people to parts of a problem is genuinely a really nice way to make an outcome happen. But the other one is maybe you can do CI/CD, maybe containers and container builds and tagging and these things, and like your bread and butter work, and you're like, yeah, I've got this. If you don't know what I mean by container image tag, this is not your issue. Like you kind of have to already know what I'm talking about there for this to make sense. Otherwise, it's going to be too much to learn. But we build a container in the cloud, and then we make it available to pull from GCR. And probably that's a bit stale. Like I don't think we've looked at the mechanism for like 4 years or something. And something's broken. And I don't know what. I haven't really looked. I deliberately haven't looked because I don't want to be the person who does all the work here, but I can help someone who steps forward.
Nate, I want to let you, I want to address your question that you've put in the chat, if it's related to the API ref generator dance we sometimes have to do.
Yeah, I'm wondering, because what sometimes happens with make module init is it gets halfway through. I think it sort of sets something up, and then you have to manually do the API ref generator fetch, and then try the make module init again, which will then succeed, and then you can go onto your normal make container image, make container serve. But I'm not sure, based on some more listening, I'm not sure if this is exactly the same thing. But I've been finding in the last couple of updates that this is the only way that I'm able to get the container stuff to work from a fresh, brand new install. It's a workaround. I don't like it. And I think the fix is adding the API ref generator stuff to module init. But again, I'm with Tim. I'm just sort of looking at this now. So this is just for reference. This might have something to do with it. I don't know if it does.
Was that a hand up, Sayak? Because if you want to come in, you're welcome.
I mean, the only thing that I wanted to know was, like, you mentioned something like the infrastructure that was making this image was not GitHub Actions or something like that, right? It was something else. Would it be possible to have any like log access or something like to that infrastructure, like to figure out like why is this image not getting built?
That is a people question. It's a people question because you have to find a person who can be the other end of it. It's not always me.
Yeah, I believe it's using cloud build. So like whoever might have access to the logs of this cloud build could actually give us.
Oh, are you looking for the Netlify build logs?
I'll jump in, and then it's probably Ray's go, but it's not we don't build the container image in Netlify.
No.
We build the production site in Netlify, but we build the container image in GCP.
Oh, that makes sense. Right.
Let's let Ray have a go.
Yeah, Ray,
No,
please.
just wanted to state I just looked at GCR as well, but I don't have the right access. And this, I don't want to add on to this scope of work, but I know a lot of artifacts have been moved to registry.case.io, and because of our, I don't also we also need to take a look and see what the future of GCR.io for SIG docs is in the future, and that's something that we could, something out of scope, but something that just popped in my head that wanted to stay to the SIG as well as looking into what the future of Kate's staging SIG docs on GCR.io, since other Kubernetes community artifacts or assets have been moved to registry.kate.io.
In fact, I have the link to the container registry in GCP, where we can see all the uploaded containers there. And the last container that was uploaded from the website was on 8th January this year.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I see that as well.
But I can also see like a huge banner saying that like something will deprecate or stop working after 18th March. Who knows? Maybe it has already stopped working before
Yeah,
that.
that's also, yeah, I do see that. Yeah, we should probably look into migrating to registry.kate.io in before March 18th. And then we could see what mechanism we need to move over to be able to do that. And I could take this on.
Can I come in on that, right?
Yep.
I think we should move. I don't think that to registry.kate.io is settled, like, because this is not really a public image.
Yeah.
But there's a conversation to have, and I think it's a future. It's not the topic we study. You're right to separate them.
Yeah, the warning label, their suggestion is to go to artifact registry, which is, but then we could take a look to see what our options are, where to move it. But we do need to move it before March 18th. Yeah, I could take this on as my task to provide updates in the future and to look into deeper.
That's great, Ray. Thank you. That March, can you remind me what date you're seeing? March 18th, you said?
Yes, March 18th.
I think it's, if there's an easy fix that gets it working, we should do the easy fix. Anything more complicated, it's maybe not that useful to make it work. And then, a few months later, it's like the thing we just fixed is broken. So, yeah, if it needs a complicated fix, we should maybe decide what the complicated fix looks like.
Yeah, agreed.
What would you say about writing a small GitHub action which will upload it to GitHub package registry as a container in the same repo?
I would say, we should check with Kate's infra. So there's
Yes.
another SIG that looks after Kubernetes infrastructure, and maybe with GitHub admins too. And the reason is that this is like vendor review. Like we are now taking a new service from a supplier. And yes,
Okay.
we already had a GitHub as a supplier, but we might be the first SIG to use GHCR, and maybe like the security response committee now needs to know about that. Like, we need to. We're organized enough and big enough as a project that we need to think these things through. Not a lot, but not nothing.
Yeah, unfortunately, a couple of these ways of being able to check certain things and get certain access actually belongs to another SIG and requires intervention from other people, rather as opposed to us in SIG docs being able to solve some things ourselves. Hence the kind of cross-SIG collaboration SIG, unfortunately. Or fortunately.
So historically, GitHub didn't offer builds in the cloud, didn't offer container registry hosting, didn't have code owners. Like, a lot of the things that you see Kubernetes doing is because in 2014 they didn't exist, and we had to invent them. And then weirdly, a lot of the way that GitHub does it looks like the way we did it. I don't know where they got the idea from. I still think this is why maybe it's somewhere between an informed solo worker and a peoply person. Maybe it's more of a continuum than a either or. But this is peoply work where you go and talk to another SIG on Slack and say, hello, we're thinking of doing this. Can you see a problem? If you want to lead on this, Sayak, and I'm getting the sense you might be willing to, we can line you up with that help and, you know, pointers, and, you know, you can say, I'm going to talk to SIG Kate's Infra. Can someone, you know, check I'm going to ask the right thing? It's not, it doesn't have to be one hero figures everything out on their own and isn't supported. That's not how we work.
I can help make sure that you're talking to the right person in the right way.
That would be great. Yeah, in that case, I will probably, yeah, I'll attempt to get this thing done then. Yeah,
Okay, DM me.
will do.
Thank you.
I'm really happy how that's gone, that conversation. Thanks, Kat and Sayak especially.
Great, thank you. Thanks, folks. I was just writing some notes there. Apologies. Given that that was a slightly different, a small kind of a segue from your original issue that you brought up, Tim. Is there anything else that you wanted to chat about on the previews being broken, semi-broken?
I mean, for the in case anyone's watching this on YouTube and hasn't seen it, like, there are workarounds in the issue. So, you know, if you are stumped and it's not yet fixed, there are workarounds. You can build the container on your computer. It just takes a while. So let's mention that for posterity. But otherwise, I think we're on a great track to get this fixed.
Great. Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
I'll say one more thing because it just came to me. This is like an opportunity to include people. So I didn't pick this up because of that big opportunity to include people, but I'm not, you know, refusing to help. If people want help, like, yes, you know, go to Cat first. That's going to be great, Zach. But you can also take it to the wider SIG. You can, you know, mention me and so on. Like, don't read this as I'm not helping.
It's all right. No, I'm just apprehensive. I'm new to all these things, all the SIGs and people around it. I'm just a bit apprehensive as to, like, how should I approach people and how should I talk to others. So it's like that is the only
That's
thing that
okay.
I probably need a bit of like an icebreaker, nothing else.
It's part of my literal job to help you talk to other SIGs and learn how to navigate the project. So reach out, DM me, and I will make sure that you get this handled correctly.
All right. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Thanks, folks. Before we move on to the other part in any questions and discussion topics of our agenda, does anyone else have any specific PRs or issues that they'd like to bring up? Going once?
0.7 PR will happen sometime. Not yet, but it will happen sometime.
All right, great. Okay, we'll move on to the next part of the agenda then. Thanks, folks. Wanted to hand it over to Maher now, who's got a link here to the CVE feed issue.
Yep. Thank you. Yes, so for those who don't know the context here, like the CVE feed is a feature on the website. Maybe can you click like the CVE feed link, like the first link in the paragraph, why this is needed? No, not this. Sorry, this the first link in the why this is needed section thingy. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry. So yeah, basically we have this CVE feed listed here, and the current issue right now is that we can't make it graduate to GA because we have like one remaining item. And the remaining item is that this CVE feed is refreshed something like every 2 hours. We produce like some JSON out of it, and then we generate like when we generate the website, we use this data and generate this page. And what can happen is that the feed can be outdated in some situations. So if nobody builds the website, I think I've seen like the workflow on the website that does update the website every 12 hours. So if nobody merges like any PR, I guess like it's just building every 12 hours. So this thing can be delayed by 12 hours in some situations. So we were just like thinking about how we could make it so that when the CV feed is refreshed, like the security response committee is creating like a new CV on the GitHub repo and the scripts like detects that. How could we rebuild the website? And since I saw like in the website workflow, so if you go back to the main issue and click on the which one? Actually, the first one that you clicked before. No, just what I I quoted. Sorry. So in the Netlify periodic build, you use this webhook thingy, and you just use like this secret token. So is this something we could have in the infra running the CV feed scripts, and that we could call so that we can rebuild the website on demand if there is a need? Is this something that could be possible? Who should I reach to create that token and then put it in like the execution context of this script? I'm done.
Thanks,
Does
Mahe.
anybody know?
Does anybody know? That's the next question.
Well,
So to go on, right?
I'm just looking at the your comments right now. About the token to be put in the YAML scripts. Actually, let me look into Netlify a little bit and I'll come back.
Yeah.
I know this one.
Yeah.
So what you're going to find in Netlify is that you can create tokens, right? And then you can populate those into build secrets.
Mhm.
Right, some, like, so Mahe you can generate a token, securely share it Mahe can put it into a build script secret. And I think we have we have one now which we use for a scheduled build, like the scheduled build every 12 hours is done using this mechanism. I would make a new different token and share that different token with Mahe because SIG security like to do least privilege and so on, separate revocation. And that's all that's needed. Now, only the tech leads and chairs have got access to do that in Netlify. Most people don't have any privilege login to Netlify, but you, Ray, you'll have access to do that.
Okay, thanks. And like so this thing is running in the Kate's infra. So now if you click on the first link, finally, Natalie, this thing is running at the bottom of this file. Here in this context. So I don't know much about like the actual infra. Right? Should I reach to like the SIG infra to put that token there, or how would that work?
I mean, I think yes. I'm sort of like a part-timer in SIG infra. You need to get someone to populate a secret. I don't know. I've never seen that done. But yeah, they have a Slack channel. You go in there and ask and say, either you can get it from Ray, or you're going to know the secret one route or another and get it populated. They're nice folks, but I would say that SIG is particularly overstretched / understaffed.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I would also recommend, Mahe, is you'd be able to coordinate the work with any of us leads or chairs, or Ray in particular, who's kind of trolling Netlify and is in it regularly. But I would check with Kayed's infra first that you can kind of coordinate this work and get get it running on their end as well, because yeah, without this, we get stalled a little bit. So it may depend, as Tim said, on their own bandwidth too. But on the doc side, we can help you rather quickly. But it's it's infra folks. Arno is a great person to reach out to. Similar time zone as well.
Okay. Thanks, folks, for the answer. I guess this is the way to go. I need to contact them now. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, of course, no problem. But definitely come back to us when you have chatted to them and you've got some next steps so that we can help you on the Netlify end.
Thank you.
Any further comments or questions on the CVE feed? All right, thanks, Mahe. And we'll go to our last agenda item here with Tim chatting about the blog.
How's the blog doing? We've got a blog article out today, which has been on the stove for a while, but we've got one out. We've got some work going on around making the blog work more accessible. I don't mean in terms of like maybe if you have trouble telling colors apart. I mean accessible as in inclusive and open to people from a range of backgrounds and abilities. A lot of that's on me. Not a chunk of that's on me, but I don't know if you want to do a sort of blog role, I guess I call it. If you're interested in helping with that, I'd be delighted to get the help. We're definitely, the backlog of articles that could be reviewed is growing, and that is the wrong direction for the chart to be moving.
Yeah. To give an update for all folks on the call as well, myself, Tim, Ray, and Divya, the three of us co-chairs, chatted with Tim about how we can actually grow not only general contributors to the blog team in terms of submitting articles that get published, but actually grow the reviewer team specifically. And we've got a really, in my opinion, a really, really great idea to get some more reviewers in who, you know, if they want to publish a blog, we would like to also have them review one as a kind of a bit of a rule going forward. So if that's something that any folks on the call are thinking about doing in the future anyhow, then definitely sign up to come and review a blog or two first. That'll definitely get your future blog published a lot sooner, for sure. As we'd like to think. But anyone who's interested in signing up to do reviews of the blog, of blogs that come in, Tim is eager to work with you. And with that, we'll also be transitioning a bit of duties here where I'll be taking over specific reviews for feature blogs for the releases, so that Tim's got a bit more time to grow that reviewer base that we have for the general blog as well. So any folks who are writing blogs specifically for releases and who are doing reviews of those blogs that want to join into the regular SIG blog reviews, we'd love to have you as well. Great. Thanks, Tim. Anything else? All right. Folks, we've come to the end of our agenda today. I want to check if anyone has any other topics or PRs or discussion points that they'd like to bring up before we end the call. All right, I'm going to take that as a no. Thanks everyone for taking part today. Again, if you're watching this in the future and you've got any questions, please come to the Kubernetes SIG Docs channel in Slack. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll see you at the next meeting. Thanks so much for joining, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.